Hey everybody, this is my friend Cindy.
Hi.
And she's going to tell a paranormal story for you guys.
Okay.
Go.
So I was living at this hippie commune, and it's an old bed and breakfast place. And there's like maybe about 15 old little like cottages around this whole place, and it's off of the 101. And it's off of, I think it's called the Eel River, and the Eel River sits behind of this place, and then there's like this big, huge, gigantic, like, it's like a, what would you call it, like a loft?
What you were living in?
No, it was not what I was living in. It's like where they have the kitchen, and there's like...
Oh, like cafeteria or something?
Kind of like cafeteria, but it's all wood, and it's like a cabin or whatever. So anyways, like, we'd go in there and, like, sit, and it was kind of like a restaurant style, but it was like, so it was like restaurant-like style, and it had a huge window, because it was like off the 101, so there's like tons of traffic, like, flowing in and out, and like, right when you turn in, there's like this huge lodge. That's the word I'm looking for.
Lodge.
Yeah, it's lodge, okay? That's it. And so, like, we're in this lodge, and it has, like, this huge window overlooking the highway. And so you can see all these cars, like, passing all the time. And so I was sitting there one day, and
During the day?
It was during the day.
Oh.
Yeah, and I told Annie this story already. Actually, I've only told it twice. I think 2 people twice. Twice many people. But anyways, twice people. And so I was sitting there, and you know how people like face this way when you're driving?
Like we're in the car.
Yeah, we're like in the car, like driving and stuff. And no, we're not in the car.
We're not. That's just how people are driving on the road.
Yeah.
Here's the window, right?
I'm a retard when I like explain things. I'm sorry. This is really true.
Okay, so here's the window.
Here's the window.
We're looking out.
We're looking out.
Or whatever, looking out. And people are driving this way.
And I'm like, yes. And people are driving this way and this way because it's a 2-way road, but you only in one lane.
Yeah.
And then there was this car that was driving like this, and it was like slow motion. And this, whatever it was, looked at me, and it had no face whatsoever.
Was it sitting like this in the car, like facing that way, like or this
It was
way?
facing me. Like, you're supposed to be like facing this way in the car, and it was like totally facing me. I hate telling this story, by the way. It gives me like it freaks me out because I don't really I don't know. Like, you know how like you just hate the unknown feeling, like you just don't know, and it's very uncomfortable.
I have a few stories like that I haven't shared yet.
Well, you should share them.
I really should.
But anyways, yeah, so it was just like a white face, nothing there, and it was just like facing me, and it was like this slow motion,
like slower than natural.
Yeah.
Cars.
Maybe it just seemed like that because it was just so odd and so bizarre to see something like that.
Just with no face.
No face. It was just like nothing. Nothing
Have
was
any
there.
of you seen anything with no face? I remember my friend...
Yeah, because like I totally like Googled and I could not find anything. I mean, I found like the Slender Man, which I don't know much about that. Did you hear about the Slender Man?
No.
He's like some in like the forest or something. I don't know anything about the Slender Man, so if I'm saying this wrong, don't like... don't quote anything I'm saying.
Don't hold it against you.
Don't hold it against me, yeah. And so, no, it's supposed to be like this guy you see in the forest. Which is crazy because at one time I took like this picture. Like I was on a bus and I was going somewhere. And it was like snowing outside and the trees were all like, where all the leaves had fallen off. And so they were just like stick figures. And so I just took a picture because I was trying to take the picture like slow glance. And like, so I posted it on Facebook and I was like, oh, this is a cool picture. And actually I saw it without my camera. You know, when you go to the computer and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks better on your phone than it does on like the laptop or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so people were like, oh, Slender Man. And I'm like, who the hell is Slender Man? And like, I guess it's like a guy that appears. I don't remember the story, but it's interesting from what I remember. But it's a man that's like, looks like a stick and he appears. Oh, I do actually remember. It came to me. I guess if you see a Slender Man, like I guess it was children or something like that. They end up dying or something happens to them, something bad or something like that.
That sounds like that movie that came out. What is it called? Shoot, I can't remember. It just came out. Shoot.
What movie?
Oh, it came out. What was it called? It was like about like a guy who finds tapes in his attic, and then like if you watch him, then you get the guy to come in and he takes your children, eats their souls.
He eats their souls?
Yeah, or
just
something like that.
Sucks them up like that? Like, oh my god, I just want to eat your soul because you're so yummy. No.
Suck up your soul.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
What was that movie called? I can't remember.
I don't know because I haven't like watched any previews or anything.
It was a really
like that.
creepy movie. That was a really creepy movie.
Well, if you remember it, we should go see it.
I've watched it twice. I just can't remember what it's called. I'll remember when I'm done filming this. And then I'm sure people will comment and go, hey, this is what it's called. But my friend, I was going to tell you.
Or we can just like Google it and find it. Because every time I Google something, I find it like right away.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But my friend, speaking of blank faces. My friend, she lives in Shasta Lake City.
Uh-huh.
And she works like 20 minutes from where she lives.
Yeah.
And so on her drive home, she'd get off at midnight, she'd drive home. And right where there's this old graveyard, right near the entrance, she'd see a guy with no face shaking his head like this. Like really fast. Just every night when she'd drive home.
Really?
Yeah, just shaking his head and he'd have no face. He'd be just blank. Like bald or whatever.
So he would like be facing downward like this and shaking his head like this? Like crazy?
Just really fast. Like crazy fast.
Huh. Kinda like
I remember her telling me that. She said it's the freakiest thing ever. And she'd always like close her eyes because it's only like 2 seconds. It's crazy.
And did he like vanish like fast?
She doesn't, I don't know. She just closes her, like as she passes it, she kind of sees it and she just drives through. Like, because it's a straight road. Or something. Or she just doesn't like to see it or something like that. I don't know if she still sees it. I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Or I haven't heard from, or I haven't asked her about it.
Was it like in a graveyard? Is that what you said?
It's right outside the graveyard where the entrance is.
Right
and I've been to that graveyard.
graveyard.
That graveyard's creepy at night.
Is it?
We went out there.
Where is it at?
It's in Shasta Lake City.
Is it?
It's the that abandoned neighborhood. Did I ever tell you about that? I posted a video on that. But it's near
I think
there.
I've maybe seen it. Yeah.
It's near there.
Like the pictures and stuff that you have posted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've been there during the day and at night. Then I've only been there once at night and we'll never go back. I'm not even kidding. I will never go back. Because we like got out of the car. We were gonna go try and find it. Actually, no. I've been there in the middle of the night twice. The second time though, I will never go back. Because like we went out there and we heard like people, and either they were real people or fake people. I don't know who they were, but the voices were getting louder. And I'm more afraid of real living people than dead people.
Well, yeah.
So it was creepy.
Yeah, that is really creepy. I wonder what makes a place actually like that, because you just think, I mean, unless like something really bad happened, because I heard like, well, the energy is like if it was really bad, or if they were like bad people and they had bad entities or whatever, and then like it's become like a bad place. So it's like, what makes a place bad, you know?
If like kind of like I did a video on Auschwitz.
What's Auschwitz?
Auschwitz?
Have you ever said that word, Auschwitz?
You should watch my video that I just, I was like, Auschwitz? I don't even know how to say Auschwitz. And someone's like, if you want to sound fancy, say Auschwitz or Auschwitz.
Auschwitz.
It's the concentration camp. The Jews and stuff.
Oh my god, that would be so freaking intense to go to a place like that and feel all like the energy.
Did you know that?
I mean, all the energy and all those people that like
horrible
went
things
through all
happen.
that.
I was like seeing how like the place is tainted.
So, yeah, that's like intense.
Like poisoned. So it's like just bad.
Yeah, that's really intense. I don't know if I could actually be in a place like that.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably like bawl and break down like crying, because like you just know like awful things
That's what someone
there.
posted a comment on my video that I did, because they said they went there on a field trip.
Yeah.
And they saw like, it was like part of the museum, they had like all the hair or something from all the people like in display, and they like just broke down and cried or whatever. Like got really upset.
Weird.
And
hair?
Yeah.
Displayed their hair?
They have displayed like all their shoes.
God,
too.
I've seen a horror movie that this guy like, I don't even remember what it was, but he would like, he had this obsession. Well, it wasn't even an obsession. It was like his sister died of like cancer or whatever, and she was losing her hair, and so he like totally like stalked. I'm saying liked a lot, sorry.
I do it. I say so and like and
So and like and It's like you're not even aware of the things you say unless somebody actually tells you that you're saying it. So anyways, he would cut like across right here and their skull, because he would say, you can't be dead because the blood needs to rush to your hairline. And so he'd have like, it was like this collection of hair, and it was like he was trying to remember the spell of her hair Because I think that's what I got out of that show. I'm not really good at interpreting shows sometimes, but yeah, it was really weird.
I don't want to be cut here.
Yeah, and he just like, why she was alive. But she ended up kicking his ass at the end. And like it was actually, who's in that movie? I think not Jennifer Lopez. It was, who's the other girl with the curly, she had like curly short hair. Not Demi Moore. I don't even know. I suck at remembering names. So anyways, I'm sure somebody's going to be like, oh my god, this girl.
Oh, I almost remembered the name of that movie.
What?
That movie I was trying to remember and I forgot it.
Did you?
I forgot it. It's like, you know when it's like right on the tip of your tongue? And you
That's how this movie is, and
yeah,
I can't even think about it. And like the girl's name, I have to like say the alphabet to actually remember her name. I think it's... I would say it on here, but I think people would be like so offended and they're like, oh my gosh, that is so...
Like, who's your friend?
Who is your friend? Sorry, I'm like really honest. Like, but if it's people I don't know and I want to be honest, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, it's The Caller. That's the movie it's called.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and who is that girl in the movie?
I don't know her name.
I don't need, like, I know her name, but I forgot her name. But like... Yeah, and she's like the operator, or for the, it's coming back to me. And she's like the operator for, the fire department, no, 911 caller. Yes. The fire department. She has a boyfriend or husband or lover or whatever he is in the fire department. Yeah. So I thought this was about ghost stories.
It was, and it turned into a lot of other things.
Movies.
It did. But hey, they were all kind of scary, right? Does that count for anything?
That does count. But that whole face thing was like really creepy though.
Yeah, blank faces. I don't know. There's something, it's like...
It was a really dark place though, that bed and breakfast. Like, it was like falling apart. Like, everything was like old and falling apart.
It's
and,
not
like,
still there, is it?
I don't know if it's still there. Like, it's been a long time. Like, that was like 10 years.
I mean, blank faces are almost as creepy as like when you just see someone like with their eyes all black.
No, if I wasn't on the spot and I didn't know I was being recorded, like, it literally, like, I told Annie this story, like, before. She was like, oh, let's record this. And so, it literally just, like, makes me, like, it gives me goosebumps and makes me, like, cringe inside. And I just don't, like, it's just, like, really uncomfortable.
It's just, like, unsettling.
It is, because it's, like, it's, like, something that you don't know. And it's,
like, seeing someone's face, you can read their expression or, like, how their emotions. But when there's no face, it's, like, question. Like... And it's like the unknown. It's unknown.
It is very unknown.
So if any of you have ever experienced a blank-faced figure in your life,
yeah,
that would be really nice. Because I've never actually seen one. I don't really want to.
No, I wouldn't want to experience that again. Like, you know,
did
like,
anyone ever else experience that?
I asked this one guy that was living there at that time, like, if he, because my friend was like, oh my gosh, I told her about it, and she's like, oh my gosh, someone else, I think, like, a couple other people, and it was like, but it was a guy actually walking around, that had no face,
Oh.
And so I remember, like, sitting in the movie theater with my friend, and she's, like, terrified, like, of anything scary, and I was telling her this, and she was like, and, like, the look on her face when, like, and then, like, when she was, like, it was, like, somebody, like, told her the same exact thing that I saw, because it was just, like, so frightening on her face. Like, she was like, oh my gosh, you know, and it was just, like, really crazy, and yeah, it was a friend of ours, and then so I, like, wrote him, because, like, he lives overseas, and so I, like, wrote him online, and I was like, hey, did you have the same experience, blah, 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 and he's like, oh my gosh, that's really crazy, but no, I didn't have the same experience, but there was a guy that was walking around that I experienced that wasn't, like, a natural person, like, human body kind of person, but he told me that there was somebody walking around. It's really crazy, because at night, that place was just, like, unsettling, like, it was unnerving, you know? It
wasn't comfortable?
No, it wasn't comfortable at all.
How old was that place?
I really don't know.
That had been around for, like, a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, the buildings were falling apart, the ceilings were leaking, like, I mean, like, it would cost, like, millions of dollars to get that place fixed, and, like, it was just, like, an organization, like, a non-profit organization, So it was just like whatever volunteer money came in, like people would donate to that place, and it was only because it was like for food and stuff. And but anyways, it was just yeah, it was just old place. Like the whole buildings were just like falling apart. I mean, it was cool, but it was just like that creepy, eerie feeling. And it was in the redwoods, actually. Like,
wow.
Well, I don't know if it was in the redwoods, but it was by the redwoods. But they had like it was surrounded like in forest, so it was like tucked in, and it was all shaded all the time. Like the sun like barely peeked through. I mean, we had this like open field where we had a garden at, and so it was just like this open field, and that's like pretty much where the sun shined the most. And like if you went down to the river or whatever, but yeah, it was just like this dark place, like all the time. It was always shaded. I mean, it was nice in the summertime because it got really hot there, but. Sorry, I had a burp.
I heard it like.
I know. Did you hear it? Like it was like rumbling in my chest. I'm like so manly, but no. That was crazy. But yeah, and it was just an interesting place.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I guess we should probably end it before we just keep going, because I think we could probably keep going forever and ever.
Is it recording your face?
It is recording my face.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is like my first YouTube video, so I may like be looking away and drifting off, but it's like I can't have contact with like anything that's not real. Like if it's not a human being, it's like
not even yourself and your reflection.
Not even myself and my reflection.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's all good. So, if you guys like this video, we're gonna do another one tomorrow, maybe, if we have time. She has a couple other scary stories that she told me. And so if you like it, comment down below and tell us that you want to hear more. So yeah, I'm going to end it now because otherwise I'm going to keep talking. Bye!